a couple of slides here to present our outlook for the 2020 hurricane season for the Central Pacific. This outlook is a collaborative effort with the Climate Prediction Center and Central Pacific Hurricane Center. We'll take a quick look back to 2019. We had an outlook of 5 to 8 tropical cyclones over the Central Pacific. As we look back at the season, we ended up with a total of 4 tropical cyclones. And as you can see from the chart, none of them directly impacted the islands with a landfall. Although, of course, as you know, hurricanes coming nearby can often bring severe weather, flash flooding, and big surf on our shores. The reason for the outlook was that El Nino at that time was expected to continue through the season. Thus, we expected more activity. The conditions weakened, the El Nino conditions weakened during the season, and this may have played a large role in lessening our tropical cyclones last year. You can see the history of the tropical cyclone activity over the Central Pacific. It varies from year to year. A lot of times there are very few, and some years we've even had 0. But as you can see, there are years such as a couple of years ago when we had well over our typical average, which is around 4 to 5 per year. So variability is important to realize, and preparation with respect to the threats of hurricanes it really should be the same year to year, even though we do have variability. So what do we look at? What do the Climate Prediction Center experts look at for these long-term forecasts? One of the main controlling factors or conditions that really seems to play a strong correlation role in how many tropical cyclones we have in the Central Pacific is ENSO. And this is more commonly known as the El Nino or La Nina. And that's when the temperatures along the equator area to the south and southeast of Hawaii become warmer than average or cooler than average. There's a strong correlation depending on those temperatures, how much tropical cyclone activity we have in the Central Pacific Basin. As you can see, we're near normal, so we call that an ENSO neutral condition. The forecast models expect that condition will continue through at least August this year as we go into our hurricane season. And those kind of conditions typically correlate with near normal tropical cyclone activity. However, there is increasing uncertainty as we go beyond August that we may have a higher than normal chance of a La Nina developing. And those are the blue bars going forward in time. As we get closer towards the September, October, November timeframe, the blue bar and the gray bar are near the same. So there's about an equal chance of having neutral conditions or having a La Nina develop late in the season. La Ninas are typically correlated with lower than normal tropical cyclones activity. So there's a little bit of uncertainty in the climate prediction models. So what can we expect this season? Officially, the outlook for 2020 Central Pacific hurricane season is that we will expect 2 to 6 tropical cyclones somewhere within the Central Pacific Hurricane Center area. It correlates to a 75% chance of a near to a below normal season and a 25% chance of an above normal season. Again, there's a higher than normal uncertainty, especially as we go later in the year. And this is due to the fact that the climate models are showing indications both ways of having neutral or La Nina conditions. And depending on that, could modify the forecasts, could modify the expectations as we go forward. However, as we think about this prediction, as we think about what this means to each of us living here in the state of Hawaii, we have to keep in mind that what would we do? Are we prepared if one of those tropical cyclones, just one of them, were to hit our home? And I think that's the important takeaway. Not the number of cyclones, it's very regardless of that number of cyclones that are predicted, but it's just a reminder to all of us as citizens here in the state of Hawaii to be prepared and to prepare now. As has been reiterated, the the hurricane season begins on June 1st and continues through the end of November. We typically see most of our cyclones or hurricanes occurring in the August and September timeframe, but it's good to be prepared sooner than later. Again, this prediction also doesn't specifically predict how many cyclones will affect Hawaii, but rather the larger basin. So we could have 6 tropical cyclones that stay away from Hawaii. We could have 2 tropical cyclones that both hit Hawaii. The impacts will vary depending on where those storms go. So I'd like to echo the messages that have been shared already for preparedness, learn about the hurricane hazards, including where to find the official weather forecasts and predictions, and make a plan so that you and your family are able to stay healthy and safe this hurricane season and beyond. And think of hurricane preparation activities as a continual thing. There's always something that we can do to be better prepared as we approach the 2020 hurricane season.